different businesses that we have, 30 seconds of shameless promotion. We have, we're the largest staffing organization in town, privately held staffing company. We do temporary staffing for light industrial people, clerical, call center, that kind of thing. We also have a significant headhunting executive search company. So we do a lot of everything from CEO down to controllers, down to sales managers on executive search or direct hire. And then we finally have a human resource outsourcing company, otherwise known as a professional employer organization. We work with hundreds of companies locally, handling their payroll, workers' comp, benefits, health insurance, and human resources. We have several very, very happy customers here. So I'm going to start off by just asking like sort of 4 basic questions. First question is, do you believe that the government will make it easier or harder to sue employers for wage, sex, and other discrimination claims? Easier, you think? Do you believe that Congress believes in a limited role of the federal government?
No.
Probably not. Do you believe that there will be more or fewer federally mandated employer guidelines? Probably more. And do you believe there will be more or less funding for federal agencies like DOL, IRS, etc.? Probably more. So my goal today is to not scare anybody, but to inform you about some of what I think are the top 9 issues that are facing us in the employment workplace. Typically, it's all about your handbook, and you have a policy in place. But you might want to consider some of these things that are very important. And the first, of course, is medical marijuana. Again, I went to Santa Barbara in 1970, so medical marijuana does not mean that you can't have a drug-free workplace. It just means that you have to manage that. Who here has seen a medical marijuana card or has one? They look like driver's license. You know? Okay, but it looks like driver's license. We have several, understand in our HR consulting business, we have thousands and thousands of worksite employees locally, and so we get exposed to a lot of different things. And so medical marijuana card looks kind of like a driver's license. And again, it does not mean that you can't have a drug-free workplace. It just means that you have to manage it. The real slippery slope on medical marijuana is that unless you're in the states of Alaska, Colorado, Washington, D.C., Oregon, or Washington, where small uses are approved for recreational use, unless you're in those states, typically people are getting access to medical marijuana for some kind of a condition. The challenge is that condition a condition that also is qualified for the American with Disabilities Act? If it is, then you have to make accommodations for the medical marijuana in the workplace. That's the slippery slope. And the way to manage it is to manage it through the policies of your handbook. Okay? We'll have time for Q&A afterwards. All right? So number 1, nervous 9 item is medical marijuana. Pretty fun, isn't it? Number 2, the upcoming is mandatory sick leave. Now, most companies, mandatory, not just sick leave, but mandatory federally or state mandated or community mandated sick leave. Most of you who run companies probably already offer it to your employees, and that's great. That's an edge that we have in the marketplace. And by the way, I should make one point I forgot. None of these comments I make, none of them are political. I'm not making any political judgment up here at all. I believe in working with people the same way I work with my in-laws. I never talk about politics and religion. All right? So I'm not making any kind of a political statement, just these are things that we need to watch for in the landscape. So most of us provide sick leave already to our employees as an edge in the marketplace. However, there's a move with California effective July 1. Now it's required to have, I think, 3 days of sick leave there. My brother is in the insurance business in Oakland, California. And in Oakland, effective March 2nd, they have to, if you have a business in Oakland, you have to give 9 days sick leave with a $12.25 minimum wage. Seattle, as you know, raised their minimum wage to $15 an hour, effective like 2018. So there's a move afoot, okay? There's been no move at this moment for federally mandated sick leave, but it's right around the corner. Unless you're with a big company like mine, which is being aggregate the risk. That's a whole other story, okay? So the Affordable Care Act, the other thing, for the first time this year, I'm sure Lisa knows this, is that there's a reporting now, Form 9590 or...
1095.
Okay, right, yeah, okay. You want to come up here and give the presentation? No. So for the first time now, we have to do the reports, and they have to be calculated monthly and analyzed annually, and it's just a wreck. So I'm just suggesting that there's other changes, and make sure that you're talking with either your CPA or your health insurance broker or my organization to help you navigate it so you don't get fined. The potential fines are significant. The other trend that is important is there's a number of clients we were talking to last year who maybe wanted to work with us, and they made the decision to raise their employees' pay and not provide health insurance. You can't do that. You can't raise their pay and then make them buy health insurance. You can raise them pay, but they don't have to buy the health insurance. So that move is really contra what the intent of the law was, and if you're caught, the excise tax is significant. It's huge. So, please don't do that. And it's constantly changing. Okay, so who here heard that Anthem was hit by 100 million people, right? And our health insurance is with Anthem. We got hundreds of phone calls in the next 2 weeks of consumers rightfully concerned that, that because Anthem has been hacked. So, does your company have a social media policy? Rhetorical questions. These are the important things. Social media policy, internet policy. Do you have a data protection policy? Do you have a BYOD policy? What's that stand for? BYOD. Bring your own device. Exactly what it is, right? So, can somebody put company information on their own personal cell phone? Or do you provide your employees with cell phones? If you have somebody in your office and they get online and you promote Facebook and they get online at 10:30 at night and promote Facebook and promote your company on Facebook, are you supposed to pay them? Right. Okay. And I think that this particularly relates to property management because there's confidential information with your tenants, it seems like, and my qualified HR people can point that out better, but I think it's a huge issue with this group right here I'm talking to. And obviously, making sure that we don't get the data of your tenants breached somehow. My guess is probably or potentially a significant problem. Number 5 is driving. In 2012, there were 3,328 deaths across the country caused by people texting and driving. There was 421,000 accidents because of it. 421,000 accidents. A 9% increase from 2011. OSHA, under the General Duty Clause, and I quote, "It is part of an employer's legal duty to provide a safe working environment which includes keeping its drivers from texting when driving." That's an OSHA regulation. So if you don't have this in your handbook, and your employee is texting and drives and kills somebody, say la guerre. Right? So seems innocent. It's not. It's a serious problem. All right. So it's actually called distracted driving, not just driving, but it's distracted driving. Number 6, very fascinating to me, is e-cigarettes. Frankly, I don't even know what an e-cigarette is. I don't. I don't know. But all I know is I've seen somebody do it in an airport, and they didn't get kicked out of the airport. I haven't seen it on a plane yet. 3 states, it's legal in a workplace to smoke e-cigarettes. Colorado, it's weird. You can smoke dope in Colorado. And you can't smoke e-cigarettes in the workplace. It's illegal there. Colorado, New Jersey, and Tennessee are 3 states that have outlawed it. There's no federal regulation yet. We highly recommend that, and this is brand new, by the way, that we get this in your handbook. Because some people are reporting getting headaches. I guess there's no smoke from an e-cigarette. I don't know, but I guess there's fumes or something, and some people are vapor. Okay, all right. So I guess some people are reporting getting headaches from the vapor. And so again, it's something that you might want to just address in your workplace and in your policy. Many issues regarding gender issues.
Which one do you want?
You're on page 7, I'm on page 3. The first issue regarding gender is equal pay for women.
Solidarity.
McBride? You would like Walesa?
Higher pay.
All right, I'm leaving. I'll see you guys next. The first issue is equal pay. Multiple significant lawsuits were on behalf of ladies for not getting equal pay, and I can't agree with it more, frankly. I've not said an opinion on anything. I think that's abominable. But women are suing left and right. So if in your organization you don't have equal pay, you better do it now. Because if you don't, you're going to lose it categorically. Also, significant issues on providing the right type of workplace for ladies that are expecting. Number one, you can't make any decisions predicated on it, employment decisions predicated on it. Secondly, if they request special seats or types of work, accommodate them. Number 8 is ban the box. Anybody know what that means? Ban the box relates to asking on your application if the person has a felony or not, or if they've ever been convicted of a crime. This has not yet been federally mandated to not be able to ask that question. We're encouraging most of our employers to not ask that question on their application, and most of our clients. Doesn't mean that you can't ask that question later on in the employment and interviewing process. It just means that there's a move afoot that is discriminatory if you ask it on the application. So ban the box means ban the box, they check and says they're a felon. Big move for that. Now, it doesn't mean that if a person is a felon, did you have a question?
It's like, why? I mean, it's something you kind of want to know up front.
And you are allowed, the feeling is that if a person was convicted of a crime, maybe not a felon, convicted of a crime by smoking dope as a 17-year-old, and he's 49, is that relevant? And so, I'm not making an excuse for it, I'm just explaining the logic of it. It doesn't disallow the opportunity to ask those types of questions in the interview process. The suggestion is that it just isn't on the initial employment
And it
application.
prevents the criminal from being able to sue you for not being hired. Because they're criminals.
Correct,
Okay.
right, yeah, okay.
I don't know how to work the system.
All right, so now, understanding that if the requirement for them not to be a felon, for example, if they're handling money, or in your case, my guess is going into other people's homes, if you're a property manager, going into other people's homes, if it's a BFOQ, bona fide occupational qualification, then there's no issues with it, okay? So, but this is a move afoot, and again, you need to talk with your HR professional or your attorney to properly understand, how to manage it, okay? Ban the box, is what it's called. And last one is violence program. So, the reason why this is number 9 is because this is going now from just a workplace violence, expanding into the obligation of the employer to provide some type of assistance regarding if there's a domestic violence situation. All right? So these are my nervous 9. Okay? Right? So if you have a problem supervisor, they can get you in more trouble than you can imagine. And our recommendation is to deal with them quickly. Train your supervisors on how to talk with people and manage people, and a guy can't pat a lady on the butt. You just can't do that. We have 5 or 4 or 5 or 6 HR people, like certified HR people in our company. And they get excited when something happens because, hey, guess what happened, so-and-so, and it's like, is that still being done in 2015? It is unbelievable. And so please train your supervisors. People need to be able to talk to somebody. One of the services that we offer, not to be shamelessly plugging, is that if one of our worksite employees has an issue, they can call our HR staff. You need to have an effective internal complaint, because that will diffuse a whole bunch of things if you have that in place. So those are the 5 things. So my summary, basically, is make sure you have somebody, make sure that your handbooks are in place, you have somebody review these policies, and in general, when it results to employees, round down and you'll stay around. Round down. You know, it's, there's a whole alphabet soup of initials out there of governmental agencies and lawsuits that are happening, and just round down. All right, Roland, is that okay?
That's great.
Thank you very much.